Is there anything you felt like you could have done different, or you looking back you would have done different? I expected to see complete, utter chaos with the little ones.
What do you think I could have done differently? Hey guys, it's Fernanda. Welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be all about what a parent volunteer thought about my first year teaching. You guys asked some great questions, so we're going to answer them. And right here with me, I have my friend Cassandra. I call you Cass. So yeah, want to talk a little bit more about that?
Hi guys, I'm Cass. I met Fern her first year of teaching. She was my little one's teacher in his first year of kindergarten. Long story short, I started volunteering in the classroom and a lot, and I really enjoyed it, and we really enjoyed each other, and now we're here. We became really good friends out of it.
Alright, so a few weeks ago I posted this on Instagram, and it just basically says, if you could ask anything to a parent volunteer in my classroom about my about my teaching, about my teaching as a first year teacher, what would you like to know? So I put that on my stories as well as a post, and you guys have some great questions, so we're gonna answer them from a parent perspective as well as like a teacher perspective. There were also some questions that I felt like just didn't belong in this video, so I'm not gonna be answering those questions in this video, but when I do a Q&A, hold on to those questions and you can ask them then. Alright, so let's go ahead and start with the ones that were on the actual post.
On the comments? Okay.
I did send these to Cass beforehand so she could kind of get a feel of what the questions were like.
They were really good questions.
So the first one is, what is the most efficient, easiest way to communicate with parents for you?
In my opinion, especially now not having Fern another year, obviously, I would say I really enjoyed Class Dojo. I really enjoyed how it was quick. It's almost like texting. When you're messaging on that app, it's really quick. The notification comes up right away versus email. That was like a little, it's like nowadays, it's a little slow. It's like snail mail nowadays. So I really liked the personability of Dojo. I think that was my favorite.
I feel like Dojo is kind of like a social media platform, but for schools.
Yes.
So because like you're a young parent, I feel like you relate to that better. So one question that I got a lot was, like how you felt when you found out that I was a first year teacher.
Okay, yeah, that was asked a lot. So initially when she first announced that, when it was like meet and greet, my heart stopped just a little bit. I was like, what? You know, no way, there's no way. And then that was my initial judgment. And then almost immediately, once I gave her chance, she was saying that over the summers, you know, she was employed in a special needs daycare. And also she had been student teaching for a long time. So she had been in the business for a long time. It was her first year teaching officially. But once I heard all of her background, I was like, oh, okay, so she's not like completely oblivious. She's not just like coming from the book. She has had hands-on activity with many different types of children.
Yeah,
so
and
that helped.
I do remember like when I typed up my like meet the teacher letter for open house, I didn't specifically say that it was my first year teaching, but I did list like all my experiences with teaching. So that was summer school, like the daycare, practicums, and all that stuff, just because I wanted to make sure that parents knew that I still have some experience.
Yes, and I appreciated that so much because I was so nervous at first when she announced she was a first year teacher.
So this is a good one. This one says, how much do parents want to know about the teacher and what they're doing in the classroom, like in terms of lesson topics, behaviors, events in the classroom? Like,
yeah, that was a good one. So personally, I'm just a little bit of a helicopter mom, and I like to know everything. And I've noticed over the years a lot of parents aren't like that. But for me, I appreciated the teacher giving me as much as possible. It was, you know, my choice what to do with it, or whether to care or not, but for someone who cared so much, I appreciate that, and I don't want it any other way. There's never too much information for me. I appreciated Fern's openness so much.
Yeah, and then to give a little background on that, last year, more last year than this year, I would try to post like as many pictures as I could about
on
Dojo, or like send her pictures of her child's work and stuff like that. So
I loved it so much. I couldn't get enough.
Okay, so editing Fernanda here, and I just forgot to answer part of the question when I was filming this. I'm going to answer it right now. So something else that I also did in my classroom was post weekly newsletters on Dojo, and I would also print the newsletters out to those parents that didn't necessarily log on to Dojo as much. But in those newsletters, I would include what was going on in the school, what was going on in the classroom, and as well as what we were learning in the classroom. So for example, in kindergarten, I would let parents know what letter of the week we were learning. I would also let them know what we were learning in math and science and so on and so forth. Okay, so this next question is actually a really good one. This one says, do you think that schools should have a mandatory parent volunteering program? Does that help hold parents accountable, or do you think that creates tension?
So I think to require volunteering is a little bit of a oxymoron. To volunteer, you do that on your own time. You do it because you want to, you do it because you can. And to require that, I think that's really unfair to parents. You never know what people are going through, if people have the time. You know, there's full-time moms, there's full-time both parents. It could be a tough month, a tough year. I can't imagine ever having to require to volunteer. I can't imagine that being practical for every household.
The other question kind of goes along with that says, would parents enjoy a system where they could just take items home to prep as an alternative to coming into the classroom? So for example, I've had parents offer like, hey, like I can't come into the classroom, but if you have any lamination that you want, can't just send it home with my child, I'll cut it. But I just never take them up on it just because I feel like,
yeah, I actually think you should take up on that, because if, like we were just saying, they don't have time to come into the classroom, but they still want to help. They still want to show your appreciation. They still want to, help you. I think that allowing them to have materials at home and help you at home is awesome. It shows that you're flexible and that you're willing to accept their help, even though they can't really come in and take the time.
When you walk into your child's classroom, what do you expect to see?
I'll go back to when it was Fern's first year. I expected to see complete, utter chaos with the little ones. They're young, and it's a lot of their first years in school in that type of setting. So I truly expect to see chaos. So if you ever have chaos in your classroom, don't worry, that's kind of what we expect. Nothing less of chaos. But
wait, I'm gonna stop you right there.
Okay.
Do you expect like organized chaos, like where like everyone's like working and it's loud and stuff like that? Or do you expect like kids jumping off the walls, doing cartwheels? And
honestly, last year I expected chaos, like kids jumping off the walls. Yes, absolute utter chaos. But last year with Fern, that was absolutely not the case. It was such a good class. Even when the kids were in their own groups, centers, they were all really, really well behaved. Fern was able to have a little string on each and every one of them still, even though when she was giving her attention to an individual student. So needless to say, I was really impressed, because I expect just chaos so much. I don't expect anything less from 6-year-olds. 5-year-olds is chaos.
Yeah, that's true. What did I do as a first-year teacher that you really enjoyed?
Oh, that's a good question. I loved Dojo. I loved the communication. I'm so big on communication. So for me, that was Dojo. That was a big one. I loved the constant feedback. I loved that Fern was also available all the time. Anytime I needed her, anytime I had a concern or question, she was there. I loved her open arms classroom. I was allowed in the classroom at any time I wanted, whether I let her know or not. I was always able to volunteer. She always wanted help. She asked for my input. She asked for all of our inputs. She made school so fun for my little one. I know that the kids had so much fun. She always had little parties, art series. Alright,
it's going away. It's going away.
Going by. There was always some sort of party for some small special occasion. Of course, like Thanksgiving and stuff, but then you had that pirate one.
Okay,
That
I'm
was
gonna
so
stop you
fun.
right there. So
Okay.
like the events that I had in my classroom, I usually did because my team did them. So like obviously I cannot take credit for them, but some of them I did on my own, and one of them being Pirate Week. And for your kiddo to remember that, like that just really makes me feel really good that
Yes.
it made an impact on him, and a positive one at that.
Yes. And then he also liked the leprechaun one.
Oh yeah.
What did you do that? Was
fun.
that for St. Patrick's Day?
Yeah.
Okay, so
So
all
we
these
built the
little
town.
things my little one remembered, and he wrote about them in his journals and in his centers, and those were his favorite, and that's what made me happy as a mom.
And then also as a clarification, parent volunteers usually would go in the classroom during centers. So that's when, like, she wouldn't go during construction, but you were there once. I remember you were there a little bit early. We were having like some kind of event and we were doing journals. So I remember like you saw the whole like
Yes, I did.
writing routine, and you even wrote like something on your little one's journal for me. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, I do remember
I have
that.
a picture of that.
Yes, and then sometimes I would walk in when you would like have them like at circle time or reading time on the rug.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Yeah.
So I did see a little bit.
Oh, this is a good one. How did you feel about knowing your child's teacher was starting a teacher vlog? I mean, you didn't really know.
I didn't know. I think the only reaction that I had when you first told me, somehow, I just thought that was awesome. Of course, ahead of time until you told me, and my initial reaction when she told me was, I was like so happy. I thought that was so cool. YouTube's very positive, and it's very mainstream, and it's growing. So to have her tell me that, I was really happy for her, and I immediately searched for her, of course, and watched her videos, and I thought she was really good at it. So I had no ill feelings towards it at all. I was really happy for her. I think that's really cool.
I mean, that's good to know because it's definitely like really intimidating.
Yeah. Yeah.
Having parents find out, and she didn't find out until I told her once I was like comfortable with her. But there were a couple of other parents in my class that their children found my channel, so they knew about it, but they never said anything bad about it either.
So people found out before you told them? Oh wow.
So far, the parents that have found my channel haven't been like upset about it. This year, it just happened again. Like,
did it?
2 kids found it.
Oh, okay.
And because I'm at such a small school now, like everybody's finding out about it.
True.
Let me see what else.
I loved it. I think it's great.
Well, this one's, I mean, I feel like it doesn't apply, but it can apply. So now that you know me in person, you know that I'm a very shy person.
Oh, that question.
How did you see that change in the classroom? Like,
so when I first met Fern, she was obviously, you know, in teacher mode, and she was introducing herself. I would have never guessed that she was such a shy person. I thought that she was so outgoing and just ready, and then once I talked to her and she was really soft-spoken and really more introverted and quiet, I was like, oh. And then again, I would see her in the classroom and she would just be in a totally different mode, and she just thrived so much at what she did. She never held back with the kids in any way, and I would have never guessed that that would have came from her, as shy as she is, but she's so good at what she does.
Yeah, and that's something that like I get a lot, like, oh, like I'm shy too, like how do you overcome it? And honestly, it's just a switch, because I don't think much about it. It's just I'm so passionate about teaching that it doesn't really cross my mind. So
yeah, very natural.
What are some ways that I proved that I was a good enough teacher?
Oh my gosh, through actions, almost immediately. When she had to redirect the class, she was so good at it. If there was ever a little bit of, you know, fooling around or just too much distraction with the students, she was able to, in the kindest, sweetest way, so patient, get them back on track. That was something that I noticed almost immediately, because I don't think that's something I could do very gracefully if I were a teacher.
Yeah, pretty much all the other questions are like, did you have concerns that I was a first year teacher? And I feel like we already answered that. What do you think I could have done differently? Be honest.
That's a good question. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't want to just like make it seem like I'm blowing sunshine. Anything different? I can't think of anything. Gosh, you guys, I don't think Fern could have done anything different. Is there anything you felt like you could have done different, or you looking back you would have done different?
I don't think so. I feel like
Yeah.
everything that happened in my first year happened for a reason, and if it went like not the right way, I learned from it. But I don't think it would have changed anything, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Like, it was just such a great year, and I'm so lucky that it was such a great year, because a lot of people don't have a good first year.
And I think that you took a lot of what you did last year and try to incorporate it this year in first grade.
Those are pretty much all the questions that I got. Can you think of anything else that you want to touch on? One thing that I do want to say is that as a first year teacher, having parent volunteers was so nerve-wracking. So in my old school, parent volunteers could not come in until like the first full month of school. And because parent volunteers were so big in my old school, especially in kindergarten, I knew that there was not really going to be any way around that. So I remember just putting it out there, hoping and praying that no one would want to come in.
Oh, you were nervous?
And then remember, I had to have that parent volunteer meeting. So there was like 10 people there, and I was like, oh my goodness. Out of those 10 people, those 10 people would have volunteered for like the big events, but I had like a good consistent group of 6 parents that would come in every single day.
That's a lot.
You being one of them. But I remember just thinking like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. If anything, that's gonna make me a better teacher, because I'm gonna have to be on at all times. This year, I don't have any parent volunteers, and that is for 2 reasons. So it's because my school is not big on parent volunteers. There's just a different demographic. And also, I just felt, because it was such a big change for me going from this really, really supportive school where there was an amazing support system, and going to this school, which I'm not saying was not supportive, but it's just different. I felt like I needed to get my stuff together before I could let parents in. And I still don't feel like I'm there yet.
Yeah.
So I still don't have parent volunteers. But if you were a first year teacher, I highly suggest you open up your classroom doors to whoever wants to come in, because you'll learn so much from it. And it will also, I feel like, put parents at ease, knowing what their student is doing.
I was just gonna say that. I'll add to that. From a parent's perspective, always at least offer that. If, no one takes up on it, that's okay too. But always offer it. I always want to feel welcome in my child's classroom in every way possible, not just events, but just in any way that I can help, but also just be a part of his education.
Yeah, if every parent could be like Cass, it'd be amazing. Because like, you were so supportive, and like not just like helping in the classroom, but just like supplies wise. I remember there was one time that you asked, because like my school was really big on letting parents come and have lunch with their child.
Oh yeah.
So there was one time like you told me like, hey, like I'm gonna have lunch with so-and-so, and I'm like, okay, cool. And it's like, do you need anything? I'm like, well, I mean, we're kind of low on glue sticks, but it's okay. And then she came in with a ton of glue sticks.
Yes,
and
I
like
remember.
Wipes, and like anytime like we were low on anything, she was like always the first one.
If a parent volunteer ever asks if they can help in any way, or if they can bring in supplies, please take them up on that. We truly mean it when we're asking. We're not just asking, we know that a lot comes from your own pocket, and I want to help and show my appreciation in any way that I can. And by bringing in glue sticks, tissue boxes, paper, that's one way that we can show you that we appreciate what you do for our children so much every day.
I guess I have another question for you. I feel like it's going off topic, but like, now that you're like friends with me, and you see like what really goes on behind the scenes, has that changed your perspective on teachers and like what they do for their classroom?
You know what? A little bit. It helps me remember that they're human too, and that you guys work really hard, and that a lot of what you do outside of your time teaching is still for our children. It definitely opened my eyes to that more. Nothing negative though, nothing. It's like, you guys are human, you need coffee too, you need to go to the bathroom, you need to eat lunch. It definitely made me more aware of things like that.
So I think we're gonna leave it off at that. Okay. But if you have any questions that we did not answer, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and maybe I can convince her to make another one. She secretly loves it, so I think she'd be willing to do it. But yeah,
this was fun.
It was fun. And one more thing. So I came to her house, and in her little like hallway area, she has the certificate that I gave her child for kindergarten. You can show it. Do you want to?
Yeah, let me show. And like, these are the things. Oh, I never mentioned this, but you guys, these type of things I appreciated so much. Little certificates, and I'll save it forever. She took the time to do these things, to personalize them, obviously, to date them. And these things like cost money and they cost time, you guys. Like this meant so much. Should I show this?
Oh, alright, so that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, please give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.